In this video, I'm going to walk you through the entire process of how we cleaned and stained both sides of all this fence for an HOA. I'm going to tell you how we got the job, how much we charged, and if you stick around till the end, I'll tell you our exact profit. So the first thing I need to do is clean this fence and get some of that old stain off. So I'm doing this by using a chemical called sodium metasilicate. I'm getting it in these 5-gallon buckets from Stain and Seal Experts, and I do 1 cup per gallon of that. And then just for a little extra kick, this second one has some potassium hydroxide in it, which just helps it strip that old stain a little bit better. And then I just put it in a pump up sprayer, put it on the fence, wait a couple minutes, pressure wash. On this side, it pretty much stripped out completely. You can see it looks really good. And yeah, honestly, this job is just easy money. You know, it's nothing about it is complicated. It's all simple and easy. There's just a lot of it, you know. So, but those are honestly the best jobs to get, where you can just kind of camp at one place for a while. You don't have to be running around, wasting time driving, all that. You can just sit a couple days at one job, as long as you price it right. And, you know, we price it pretty well, so. All right, so we got all this all the way, and then a couple more sections all the way over there cleaned, both sides. This is still drying, but it pretty much stripped completely. And then we've got all of that down to there to do tomorrow. So we're over halfway done. But yeah, I'm gonna call it there. All right, day 2, about 8:30 to 2 o'clock. Both sides over there, both sides of this, both sides of all of this. And of course we got all that yesterday. Also cleaned up the concrete, but we are left with a bit of a mess. There's just no avoiding it when there's mud right against the bottom of the fence. All right, so after it had dried for a couple days, this is my business partner, and him and one of our employees stained this fence. Basically 2 long days it took to stain it, but as you can see, they're spraying it on and then back brushing after they spray it. All right, so now the moment you've all been waiting for. How much did we charge? How much did we make? So I'll break down all these numbers. So the 2.5 here is how many days of overhead it took. Now you'll notice it's 2 days instead of 4 days. The reason for that is because when the staining crew was staining it, me and my helper were cleaning other jobs, right? And vice versa. When we were cleaning it, they were staining other jobs, right? So this job didn't actually take 4 days of our overhead. It was more like 2. Or at least that's how it works in my head. Maybe I'm wrong. But then we multiplied 2.5 by 700, or by our daily overhead. So that gives us $725. Now that includes everything like food for us, for the employees, insurance. I actually factor our advertising costs in that. Most people would keep those separate, which is probably the better way to do it. But for me, it's simpler since we have a fixed daily cost of advertising to just lump that into our overhead. It's just one less number to calculate. And it's honestly probably a little lower than that these days, but better to be safe than sorry. So $5,700 was the total ticket price. Our material cost on that was $1,769. And then this 12 is how many labor hours it took to clean it. The 36 is about how many it took to stain it. 48 is total. We pay $18 an hour, so I just multiply it by 22 after taxes and all that. Gets us $1,056 of labor. Now, half of this labor was done by me and my business partner, so we don't actually like pay it as labor, but I keep it like this to where, you know, we do factor in our time spent as well, because you're going to have inflated numbers if like you're doing the work. And so you're thinking, hey, our labor's super low. Well, no, because if you're to actually employ people to do it for you, which is how a business is going to function long term, then you have to figure out how much labor is actually costing you. And then, so our total cost was $3,550, leaving us with a profit of $2,149. Now, obviously this isn't perfect. You know, some of these numbers are probably a little off. It's honestly probably more than this because, like I said, I think our overhead's a little lower these days than when I calculated that. And then also, like, we actually paid less in labor. But this is pretty much a rough idea of how much we made off of it. So, yeah, if you guys enjoyed it, make sure to like the video, subscribe, all the cringy YouTuber stuff. And more importantly, if you have any questions, comment them. If you have any hate, make sure to comment that too. Been getting plenty of that recently. So, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. See you in the next one.